History, as you were taught, is an illusion, carefully shaped, selectively told, and strategically incomplete. What you learned in classrooms was not the full story of humanity, but a simplified version designed for control, comfort, and obedience. Behind every famous date, every celebrated empire, and every so-called great victory, there exists a shadow narrative, one that questions motives, exposes manipulation, and reveals how power truly operates. History was never meant to inform you. It was meant to guide your thinking in a specific direction. The winners did not just conquer lands, they conquered memory itself. And once memory is controlled, truth becomes optional. The phrase "history is written by the victors" is not a metaphor. It is a military strategy. Empires did not merely defeat their enemies on the battlefield. They erased them from records. Civilizations that resisted domination were labeled as barbaric, primitive, or irrelevant. Documents were destroyed, languages suppressed, and monuments buried under sand or silence. What survived was not what was true, but what was useful. From ancient wars to modern conflicts, the same pattern repeats. Whoever controls the archives controls the narrative. And whoever controls the narrative controls future generations. You were told wars were fought for freedom, honor, religion, or defense. But history shows a colder reality. Wars were economic operations disguised as moral causes. Resources, trade routes, strategic geography, and dominance over populations were the real objectives. Soldiers were trained to believe they were protecting ideals, while commanders calculated profits and power. Entire generations were sacrificed not for survival, but for expansion. The banners changed, the uniforms evolved, but the agenda remained the same. War was not chaos, it was organized, planned, and profitable. There were advanced civilizations long before the ones you recognize today. Societies with engineering skills, urban planning, and astronomical knowledge that still confuses modern science. Yet their names rarely appear in textbooks. Why? Because their existence challenges the official timeline of progress. If humanity was advanced earlier than admitted, then modern power structures lose their authority. So these civilizations were dismissed as myths, their ruins unexplored, their achievements minimized. What was erased was not their failure, but their success. History claims technological progress is linear, but evidence suggests otherwise. Ancient weapons, precision stone cutting, complex navigation systems, and unexplained artifacts point to knowledge that should not have existed at the time. Militaries of the past understood logistics, psychology, and strategy at levels that rival modern doctrines. Yet instead of investigating these facts deeply, history rebrands them as coincidences or anomalies. The truth is dangerous because it proves that knowledge can be lost, not just gained. The most powerful weapon in history was never the sword, the rifle, or the missile, it was propaganda. Control what people believe, and you never need to control them by force. Empires mastered this art centuries ago. Heroes were manufactured, enemies demonized, and failures rebranded as necessary sacrifices. Over time, lies repeated often enough became accepted facts. And once embedded into education systems, those lies transformed into unquestioned truths. This was psychological warfare on a global scale. History is not over. The same strategies used thousands of years ago are still active today, only more refined. Borders, conflicts, economic pressure, and information control all follow ancient playbooks. Nations still justify actions using historical narratives, selective memories, and emotional manipulation. The battlefield has changed, but the war for perception continues. Those who understand real history see patterns. Those who don't are doomed to repeat them, as soldiers, as citizens, or as silent observers. So the real question is not what happened in history. The real question is, why were you taught this version of it? When you begin to question history, you begin to question authority. And that is why true history is dangerous. Because it reveals that power is temporary, empires fall, and truth eventually resurfaces. History was not what you think. It never was. And once you see beyond the official story, you can never unsee it again.